The joys of working from home. So sorry about that. We'll get back to it. I am Lindsay Neffinger, one of the adult services librarians. Today we have Linette with us, Simsbury resident and master gardener. She'll be going over 10 useful tips on how to get started to enjoy your gardening even more. Today's program is being recorded. So if you do know someone who wasn't able to attend, or you may not be able to stay for the entire presentation, do not worry. You'll be able to view it later on. We'll be adding it to the library's YouTube channel and sharing it with SCTV. Last but not least, if you do not want captions on your program, you can click on live transcript on the bottom and then hide subtitles, and it will remove them for yourself. Linette will be stopping periodically through her presentation to answer any questions, so please use the chat when you have something come across, and we will get to it as we go through. And now with that all set, Linette, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here, and welcome everybody. This is a fun presentation for me. I am a master gardener. I was certified in 2019 through UConn's Master Gardener program, and I've been a gardener for many, many years, but I'm continuously learning new things. And so I thought I'd like to share some of them with you. Whether you are a new gardener or just you've been gardening for a while and you wanted to hear what I have to say, almost doesn't matter, because I think you're going to pick up something. So let's get started. These are the 10 things we're going to talk about. I am not going to read these to you because you're intelligent and you can read for yourselves. But these are all really important things to consider when you are planning a garden, whether it's your first garden or your 87th garden, it doesn't matter. If you leave out one of these items in your planning, you might run into trouble. So that's what we want to avoid. And if you take the time and plan ahead, you're going to have a much more successful garden. So let's take a look at them one by one. First question is, what do you want to grow? Do you want vegetables or do you want fruit? Do you want flowers? Do you want a combination of those? Do you want just shrubbery? So you have to ask yourself some things, but let's talk about vegetables first. Some vegetables are easier than others. If you look, for example, radishes, beans, squash, there are challenges to all of them, but they're relatively simple to grow. Others are more difficult and require a little more care because in part of diseases they may be susceptible to or critters that come into the garden that might like your vegetables a little too much. So you really have to think about that. The classic thing that people always want to grow is tomatoes. Everybody wants to grow tomatoes. And some are easier than others. And there are things you need to think about when you grow tomatoes also. So think about that. And some of what you can find out online about how easy or difficult something is to grow. And you can find out the pros and cons and the difficulties that different varieties have just by reading the packet of seeds, for example, if you're starting from seeds. Do you want to grow something that you can't get easily somewhere else? For example, I will never grow regular zucchini again because I discovered an Italian squash that I think is the best in the world. You can't get the seed everywhere, but I have found a couple places where I could get it. And so it's a variety that is a little more unusual. Mine grew so prolifically last year, I was passing out these squashes to my neighbors because I had so many. Think about, are you looking for things for the summer or are you looking for things for winter storage? Some vegetables can, especially root vegetables like carrots and rutabaga and some others, can be left in the ground relatively long in the season. And that may indeed impact what you decide to grow. Do you want to try something you haven't grown before? I'm trying spaghetti squash this year, for example, for the first time. We'll see how it goes. That's one of the fun things about vegetables and about gardening. You give something a try. If you have success, great. If you don't, well, you take a look and see what happened, and whether or not you want to try it again. Also take a look at the growing season. And this is really important because some vegetables are cool weather crops and some are hot weather crops. For example, I've got my lettuce in the ground already, and I've got my baby bok choy in the ground because those are cool weather crops. Peas are a cool weather crop. So is broccoli, for example. So are Brussels sprouts. So those are things you can start and get in the ground pretty early so that you can actually have a harvest early in the summer. And then if you want, you can put more in the ground later in the summer to have a fall harvest. So you can get 2 harvests out of some vegetables. Others won't grow until the temperature reaches a certain range, and they're just going to be slow otherwise. For example, I wouldn't put a cucumber in the ground right now, or a tomato. My tomatoes are sitting in my cold frame, but they're not going to go in the ground for another few weeks or so because they're just not going to be happy in weather that's especially as cool as we're having right now. So those are things you have to really think about and plan what vegetables you want. Maybe you're a flower lover. So what do you want, annuals or perennials? And there are advantages to each. And part of this depends on how much space you have, but we'll get to that in a minute. I love annuals because I can change the color scheme in my garden every year. I am a big fan, for example, of sunflowers and zinnias. And sometimes I pick my zinnias so that maybe they're all in the red tone or all in the yellow tone. Or sometimes I pick a variety of colors so that I have a mix in my garden. And I really like that. It just sort of brightens up the garden. With some annuals, you can easily save the seeds, like marigolds. You can save those seeds and plant them the following year, which is kind of a fun thing. Annual seeds are generally inexpensive and they're very easy to grow. And some varieties of flowers are really easy to grow. For example, sunflowers are easy. Zinnias are easy. You know, you put them in the ground and they pop up. You might have to thin them out a little bit because they grow so prolifically, but they're fun. The only bad thing that I see about annuals is that you have to put them in every year. You know, they don't come back, generally speaking. So while there are some pluses, there are also some minuses. Perennials, on the other hand, I'm also a big fan of, in part because I have too many gardens. And I have a limited amount of time as to how much I can spend in the garden. But my perennials regenerate from year to year. And the first year, often when you buy a new perennial, it looks a little bit wimpy. You know, if you buy a plant, it may have gone through transplant shock. If you're starting from seed, they're pretty small. But if you care for them properly, they come back year after year and they are reliable. So it really does cut down on the amount of work you have to do from one year to the next. A lot of the good perennials don't have to be dug up in the fall and stored over the winter. For example, now there are gladiolas, which I love, that you don't have to dig up. Years and years ago, I had to get in there and dig up my gladiola bulbs every fall and store them over the winter. Tulips, often you have to store over the winter. You have to dig them up and store, but there are some new varieties that you don't have to do that with. So you can cut down on your workload a lot with perennials. There are some varieties of perennials that propagate themselves, which is great. If you are a black-eyed Susan lover, they will regenerate and propagate themselves like nothing you've ever seen. Mine have gotten a little out of control in some years because they are so prolific, but they're beautiful. And that's one of the things that I like about them. Some varieties, instead of propagating and generating brand new plants like black-eyed Susans do, will just get bigger clumps. For example, I grow sedum and bee balm. And about every 4 years, maybe 5 if I really let them go, I have to break them apart because the clumps get so big that they'll crowd each other right out. but that means I have new plants. So I either put them somewhere else or I give them away. And so you get to share your perennials sometimes also. The thing about perennials is their cost. Sometimes they're not all that easy to start from seed, unless you're going to start them under grow lights indoors and baby them. To buy perennials in a nursery is expensive. They can cost anywhere from $15 on up, I would say, depending upon what you want to buy. For example, yesterday I picked up a couple of different variety of sedum plants. And they're good size right now. I'd say they're about 4 inches wide and 5 or 6 inches tall. But they were $16 a piece. So, you know, the price can add up a lot. However, I'm going to get a lot of mileage out of those two perennials because they will indeed grow and spread themselves. And as I said, you have to divide them every so often. So that's where your work comes in with perennials. I think it's great to have a garden that has a combination of both annuals and perennials, but that's up to you to decide.
Linette, I'm sorry
Yes.
for interrupting. I think you may be brushing against your microphone at times when you're talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So it's just sometimes we can't hear quite what you're saying. So
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, thanks. Is that better?
Yep, you're good. I think it must be where it's placed.
Yeah.
Because as you're talking, we can kind of hear it hitting the microphone. But
Oh,
other than that, you're good to go.
okay. So these are just some of the resources that I like where you can get good seeds. You can also buy plants, for example, from Burpees. But these are really good resources. Johnny Seeds has things that are very different in addition to all the traditional seeds. And you can purchase from them online. New England Seed is just what it said. They are New England based, which is nice. And there are seed companies that are based here in Connecticut. Comstock Ferry is one of my favorite places to go. If you haven't been there, they're located in Old Weathersfield. And their seed racks are so much fun just to peruse. They carry Baker Creek heirloom seeds, and that's where I get that unusual squash that I like so much. But for example, if you go to Comstock Ferry, they have one rack that is nothing but tomato varieties. And you can browse through and read the packets, get all kinds of great information. The thing I like about the Old Farmer's Almanac is that they have a really good list of catalogs. If you haven't looked through catalogs before, seed catalogs especially, you can get them from Johnny's, from New England, from Burpee, from several other places. They're just really fun and inspirational to look through. They give you a lot of good ideas. Johnny's has fabulous information about the growing habits of the seeds that they sell. And that's one of the reasons I love to look at Johnny's. Let me see if I have one here. Yeah. This is this year's catalog. And they have in it, for example, if you want to grow potatoes, for example, this is a potato comparison chart. And they talk about all the different kinds of potatoes they have. And they tell you what the variety is, how quickly it matures, all kinds of things. And it's a free catalog. Now, you can also go online and look at this, but there's nothing like looking at a good catalog in my book. So those are just some of the resources to keep in mind. If you were to Google in seed catalogs, you'll come up with a lot. There are some seed providers that deal only with organic seeds. So if you are interested strictly in organic gardening, you would go to one of those. But the Farmer's Almanac is a really good resource. Do you want to grow herbs? A lot of people love herbs, but ask yourself, what are you going to use them for? You know, there are lots of options, and some herbs are very prolific. So it's a question of how much of any herb do you want? For example, one year I had more basil than I could ever dream existed. I was making pesto like crazy, but I was grateful for it. And some herbs, you know, whether you grow them in pots or whether you put them in your garden, or you can even mix some herbs in with your flowers. So that's a good way to start with herbs too. So again, are you going to buy plants or are you going to start them from seed? I bought a lemon balm plant yesterday. And I am going to keep that in a pot because lemon balm grows like crazy. And I really don't want it to take over everything, but I want a certain amount of lemon balm. So I figured if I keep it in pots, I can keep it a little more contained. And I also figured that since I didn't start it from seed this year under grow lights, I'd start with a small plant. The question is, where are you going to plant these? As I said, you can put them in with your flowers. You can put them in a separate place in your garden. You can grow them on your windowsill. You know, whatever works for you, because herbs really look nice no matter where you put them. But as we'll talk about compatibility in a bit, you also have to think whether or not the herb is compatible with the vegetables or the flowers that you want to grow. And I have included in here a compatibility chart, and there are undoubtedly others that you can find online if you want to keep another electronic copy. The last thing that you want to do is grow something that's not compatible with something else, because neither one of them will do well. Okay. Oh, you know what, Lindsay, I can't see what it says up front. Oh, I can't see the top of this now.
So the top says tips for new gardeners to where to plant.
Number 2. Okay. Yeah. When it comes to where are you going to have your gardens, a lot of things to consider. And some things, you know, some of us don't even think about initially. But part of it is a question of how much space you have. For example, the squash that I love to grow, I have to trellis, because if you leave it growing on the ground, it will take over a 10 by 10 area in no time. Some things take a lot more space than others. For example, and there are dwarf and compact kinds of plants and seeds that you can get. But for example, with tomatoes, if you are growing like big boy tomatoes or some of the grape tomato varieties, those are what are called indeterminate plants. And that indeterminate means that they just keep on growing all through the season until their season is over. That's why they get to be 6 feet tall or so and branch out tremendously and take a lot of space. Whereas determinate plants are more compact and they only grow until they produce. They produce all their fruit almost at the same time, and then they're done. So you have to think about that. Do you want to grow pole beans or do you want to grow bush beans? And do you have the capacity to pull them, for example, or do you have enough space for your bushes? So think about that. Sometimes that's where you end up putting your vegetables or your herbs in with your flowers because you run out of space in your vegetable garden. Think about sun. How much does your area get and when does it get it? The prime time for sun is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That 6-hour block is critical. It's when the sun is highest in the sky. If your area only gets morning sun and doesn't get afternoon sun, there are a lot of vegetables that are not going to be happy with that. Okay. If it gets only afternoon sun, they might do a lot better than if it gets only morning sun, because the sun is a little more intense. And as the summer wears on, your area might get full sun beyond 4 o'clock. But it's especially between 10 and 4 that you need to think about. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. So do you have a wet area or a dry area? Is it sloped or is it flat? That's important because you have to think about erosion control. If your area is too wet, your vegetables are not going to like it. Some of your flowers and shrubs will love it if their feet are wet most of the time. If your area is flat and it's really wet, it's going to retain the water. If it's sloped, it might not retain water enough for what you want to grow. So you need to think about that. And then it comes when you have to think about height, color, compatibility. For example, if you're planting a flower garden, you don't want to put all of your tall flowers in the front. You want to make sure that your taller flowers are going to be in the back so that they're not shading out your shorter flowers. Do you want to mix your colors in your garden or not? Okay. All those are things to think about. Also have to think about those things when it comes to shrubbery. Tall shrubs don't want to shade out your smaller shrubs. And what about color? Do you want some color so that, for example, if you're planting shrubbery, you think about into the winter. Do you want things that are evergreen, like holly or some of the other evergreen varieties, so that they provide some color in the winter? Do you want things that have a red tone to them, so that, for example, you might plant red twig dogwood because it gets those beautiful red stems in the winter, which look great with snow? Do you want something with berries that'll bring food for animals in the winter and some color into your garden? So think about all those things. And what are the other environmental factors you have to consider? For example, is your garden space on the north side of your property or the south side, eastern side or western side? All of those are important because they impact the amount of sun that you might get. They impact how something might be protected from the wind, which is an important factor for many, many plants. So again, space is really important. If you are unsure of whether or not something will fit in a particular space, make sure you do a little research. You can easily find out how much sun a particular plant needs during the course of the day and what kind of soil moisture it needs just by doing a little bit of research. And I'll show you afterwards some of the resources where you can easily find these things, okay? So what do you know about the soil? This is one thing that most people don't do. They don't get their soil tested. And this is critically important. Most people seem to think you put down a general fertilizer and you're going to be good to go. But that's not necessarily the case. Important questions are things like the ones that are listed here. Is your soil really sandy or is it very hard and compact like clay? Those things, sandy soil drains really fast. Soil that's more clay-like does not, and it'll retain moisture. You really want a rich soil that is a combination of many things that will drain properly, but still have enough space to allow air to come in so that your plant can access it. So it's really important to get your soil tested. And there are two really good places. The first is at UConn. If you choose to go through UConn, they do charge, but you can get much more specific information from UConn. And they explain to you at this particular site, soiltest.uconn.edu, how to take a sample of your soil and where to send it. And they give you lots of options for telling them what it is that you want to know about your soil. Okay, so that's one. Most people, including me, I'll take my soil samples, and if I want UConn to test it, I'll send it to UConn. And they're usually very good. I would urge you, if you're considering getting your soil tested, do it now. Because as the spring wears on, they get busier and busier, and it will take longer to do that. You could also go to the Connecticut Agricultural Experiment Station, and there is an office in Windsor, I believe it is. You can drop off your soil sample there. And again, their website tells you how to get your sample, and it gives you a couple of options for what it is that you want to find out. They do not charge. They're also excellent. The most important things that you want to know about your soil is what's the pH level? Is it acidic or is it more alkaline, so sweet? And if it's one or the other, what do you need to do to improve your soil? And they will tell you the amounts of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus in your soil. And all of those are important for growth of your plant. I'm trying to remember both of them. Both of these sites will tell you what you need to add to your soil to make it healthier and how much to add to your soil. And generally speaking, they give you that information in lots of per 1,000 square feet. So you have to maybe break it down a little bit for your own particular use. Okay. But all of these are huge when it comes to thinking in terms of just the preparation before you even start to buy your seeds or your plants. So critical pieces here already of the planning process. Planning, it sounds like, wow, I'm going to spend an awful lot of time planning. You might, and that's a good thing. The more time you spend in planning, the greater the chance that you're not going to leave anything out and the greater success you'll have. So let's stop right there for a minute and think about all these things. And let me ask if you have any questions.
Hi, Linette. We did get one a little bit back asking about the name of the Italian squash you mentioned in the beginning of your presentation.
Oh, thank you, whoever asked. I love this. It's called Rompicanti. It's a really unusual squash.
Could you spell for me? I'll add it into the chat.
Yep. Rampicanti. And like I said, I think this is just the best squash in the world. It's unusual in how it grows. I'm going to see if I can quickly find a picture of it. If you leave it on the ground, it'll twist and turn. But I don't know if you can see this. This is what it looks like otherwise. You see how long and narrow it is? And this is not even the longest one I've ever grown. If you trellis it, the weight of the squash will pull it down and you get this long stem and then a bulb on the bottom. The bulb on the bottom is where all the seeds are. And that long stem, which generally runs to about, maybe 2 inches in diameter, is nothing but vegetable. No seeds in it whatsoever. It's a more firm squash than zucchini. It lasts in the refrigerator for a long time. I had one 2 years ago, I think it was, that grew to 3 feet long. And I just cut it into sections, wrapped up the ends of the cut portions, and put it in my fridge, and it will last for weeks. If you like to make zoodles out of your squash, this makes the best zoodles because it's more firm and it grills beautifully. It's a terrific squash. I strongly encourage you to try it. It's really fun. The first time I grew it, I was astounded at how long it got. It's fun. Any other questions so far?
As of right now, nope. So
Okay.
I would say continue, and we'll take a break again later.
Okay, we'll continue on. Sun. Part of location. Again, I mentioned this before. Full sun, 6 or more hours after 10 a.m. Okay, partial sun, 4 to 6 hours. If your area gets less than 4 hours of sun, then it is considered shady. And so, especially if you're looking for flowers or shrubbery for a shady area, consider the number of hours of sunshine you get, okay? If you wanted to know about a particular type of shrub or flower and just Googled in the name, you're going to come up with how much sun that plant needs. But if you're looking through seed catalogs, they will also tell you the same thing for both, especially for flowers, how much sun the plant needs. What happens if you get too much sun? You're going to get sunburned. And that's not a good thing. For example, hosta. There are some hostas that just don't like a lot of sun. Somebody planted elephant ear hosta in my front yard a number of years ago under a small tree, but the tree is small, and the hosta gets too much sun now because it has spread. So this year I have to dig it up because it's too much sun. And what happens is the leaves, they literally get sunburned and they dry up, and it's not fun because then the plant cannot photosynthesize because it's dying. So how do you prevent problems? You do your research ahead of time. It is not fun to watch your plant die because it got too much sun, okay? So that's an important consideration. Compatibility. You can read what it says about what does it mean. And this is really important, especially when it comes to competing for nutrients. Some plants require more nutrients than others. Some attract beneficial insects that will protect the other plants. In fact, people talk about attracting plants that will attract certain bugs that specifically go after another type of plant that somebody wants in their garden. It's pretty interesting. So again, look at compatibility charts. You can, if you Googled in, annuals that are compatible, you would find plenty of lists, okay? And compatibility does indeed spread over into the vegetable garden and your flowers and shrubs. So for example, okay, here's a quick little chart for you. Anything written here in brown means that it's not compatible with whatever is around the end. And I put around the outside perimeter, tomatoes, broccoli, cucumbers, lettuce. These are some of the more popular vegetables that people like to grow. So this is just one example. So tomatoes are compatible with beans, carrots, lettuce, radishes, spinach, etc. But don't plant your tomatoes in the same bed with your broccoli or your Brussels sprouts or your kale. Just not going to work, okay? Again, broccoli is compatible with certain things. Cucumbers don't like any herbs around them. So keep your parsley away from, your cucumbers or your chives or, your basil. Keep it away from your cucumbers, okay? And plant. That's why you have to actually sometimes draw out your garden. Now, and we'll come back to this in just a little bit, but this is just one example. And there are, as I said, there are other compatibility charts online that are much more extensive. Okay. Some plants and flowers are really good to grow in with your vegetables. Okay. And here are some good examples. Nasturtiums. Not only are they lovely in the flower garden, but aphids are a real problem sometimes in the vegetable garden, but your nasturtiums will attract the aphids and keep them away from your vegetables. Thyme, not only great to grow as an herb, but cabbage worms are just one of the banes for any kind of brassica, like broccoli and cabbage and those kinds of things, okay? So again, if you're so, inclined, it's a good way to grow some herbs and help your vegetables at the same time. So what do you want to start with, seeds or plants? Good question. All these advantages of seeds. Some seeds are better started outdoors. For example, if the seed is bigger, for example, like squash, cucumbers, they do better outdoors if you start them and sow them directly into your garden. Radishes grow so quickly that you can start those in your garden. In fact, you can start radishes right now, and in about a month, you're going to have radishes, which is kind of fun. You get more plants from seeds than if you buy plants, obviously, and it certainly is less expensive. One of the things to check when you buy seeds is when they're packed. And it will say on the back of the packet, packed for, and it'll give you a particular year. Now, some people say, well, okay, I only buy my seeds from such and such a place. And I've given you some examples of seed catalogs that you can go to. But I will tell you, I often start at Ocean State Job Lot because they get burpee seeds that are packed for this year, and they usually sell them, late in the winter for 40% off. And, seeds can get expensive. Burpee, if you order from the catalog, for example, has become much more expensive than ever before. So I usually start there. And if they have what I want, then I might pick them up at Ocean State. If they don't, then I'll buy it either from Burpee or some other seed catalog. Okay. One of the fun things about seeds is storing them for the next winter. And you can easily find out how to dry seeds and save them. And that's really one way to save money in the long run, like that Rompicante squash. You just clean out the seeds, save some of them, dry them, and store them in a cool location, label them so that you know what they are, and you've got your seeds for next year. You can do this with any kind of vegetable and most flowers. I have, for example, Shasta daisies out in one of my flower gardens. I have a big bag of daisy seeds because I just picked them right off the flowers last year. Same thing with my black-eyed Susans and my cone flowers. I just picked those seeds right off there, and then I, plant them wherever. Okay. But growing perennials from seed can be more challenging because of getting them started. But we can talk about that a little bit more later on if we have time. Plants generally only come at a particular time of the year. For example, I was looking for turtlehead, which is a perennial flower that likes shade, for a new garden I'm putting in this year. And I can't find it yet. Everybody tells me it's still a little too early. One of the nice things is that you can just buy what you need. So if you only want 2 or 3 tomato plants rather than, a lot, it might just be worth your while to just go and buy a couple of plants. Okay. Plants are more expensive. There's no question about it. Depends on what you want. But to have that jump start, that's a nice thing. And you can buy, your plants in a variety of sizes. If you go to a nursery, for example, you might find very tiny tomato plants right about now. Or in a couple weeks, you might find some that are easily a foot or taller. Okay. The other thing about going to a really good nursery is that they can get unusual varieties for you if you want. There is an option to buy plants online. I'm not a fan of that. I find that they often will send them dry root, which means that they're dormant and their growing season hasn't really started, or they send them as little tiny plants. And I find it harder to get them really acclimated and comfortable in the garden I've bought online and I'm just not a fan anymore. We have a lot of good nurseries around here. Moscarillo's is a good nursery in West Hartford. We have Warner's here in town. There's Bosco's. There are others that are right in our area that sell, good plants. If you want to go to an even bigger nursery, Winterberry Gardens in Southington is huge. You could get lost there, but great stuff, and the people really know their plants. And that's another thing to look for. You want, if you're going to go to a nursery, you want to go somewhere where people do know their plants. They can guide you and give you a lot of good ideas about what to get and what not to get. So now the question is, how much time do you have? Okay. First comes planning, and that can take some time, you know, as we've discussed already. If you look at the time eaters, just in planning and getting ready, I spend more time getting ready every year than I do the actual planting itself. You know, what kind of tomatoes do I want to grow this year? How is my garden layout going to look? Because I like to rotate my crops, but I need to be careful and make sure that I'm not putting things where they're not compatible. You know, what do I need to do to prepare my soil? I really need some good compost this year. Where am I going to get my compost and how much do I need? And so on. Okay. What about irrigation? We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. Am I going to start from seed, and how much time is it going to take me to nurture these seedlings, and how am I going to do that? And that's a whole nother topic. And then later on, you have to think about the time it takes you to maintain your garden. You know, are you going to mulch as much as you can so that you're weeding a lot less? You do want to weed if you're not going to mulch, because weeds can take over your garden and take nutrients from the soil that your plants need, whether they're flowers, shrubs, or vegetables. Watering, and we'll talk a little bit about watering afterwards. How are you going to water? By hand? Are you going to use drip irrigation? You know, what are you going to do? We'll talk more about that. Watch out for your insects and your critters. I have spent a lot of hours out in two gardens in particular where I have lilies, and I love my lilies, but the red lily leaf beetle is just a varmint. They will eat the lilies in no time if I let them. So I have to get out there initially every single day, at least once a day, look for those little beetles, pull them off and get rid of them, or they're going to destroy my plants. That does take time. So you have to be cognizant of those things. And then think about, do you have time in the fall to put your gardens to bed? Because you should put them to bed for the winter. It will make your cleanup and your preparation the next year that much easier. Let's go through just this one more slide, and then we'll see if there are any questions. Watering is hugely important. Every seed packet will tell you how to water. Any shrub or flower you buy will tell you what the soil moisture needs to be for that particular plant. You can get soil moisture meters and rain gauges that are pretty accurate. The moisture meter is important. A lot of times we think that because the top layer of soil or the top 1 inch of soil is dry, that our plants don't really need that much more water, but that's not true. What you have to do is get an idea how far down the soil is still moist, because that's where your roots are. And that's where the plant is picking its water from. So that moisture meter that goes further down is going to be helpful. And a rain gauge, you can even just take a tin can and put it out in your garden and gauge how much water you get over the course of a week, because generally plants need about an inch between rain and irrigation. If you are going to water, hand watering is easy for small gardens. There's no question about it. But if you have a lot of gardens, or if you're going to be away a lot, you might want to think of soaker hoses. And soaker hoses are great nowadays. They come and they're very pliable. You can make them as short or long as you want, snake them around your plants, connect them to a hose. You can even buy good timers that you put on your outdoor spigot so that you can program them so that your water will come on at particular times of the day. It'll run for so long and then it'll shut off. and it'll do that X number of days a week so that you know that your gardens are getting watered the way that they should. The one thing that you want to make sure you do, though, is don't stand there with a hose and sprinkle your plants from above. Couple of reasons. Number one, the water doesn't get down into the soil that way. And so you want to make sure that if you water by hand, you're watering at the base of the plant, but not so much all at once that you're going to drown the poor plant. The other thing that happens when you sprinkle from above is this: if the water just lays on the plant and the day comes to an end and we go into overnight, you're leaving your plant wet, and that opens it to disease. That's one of the reasons that plants get disease, is because they're wet overnight, and we don't want them, to fall that way. So consider how you're going to water. A lot of people will use, in their vegetable gardens or their flower gardens, they'll use an oscillating, sprinkler. And again, I would say if you can avoid that, the best time to water your plants is early in the morning, because that way the sun isn't too hot. It gives the water time to really soak into the ground so that it can feed your plants properly. If you can't water in the morning and you can only water later on in the afternoon or early evening, that's when it's even more important to water at the base of the plant. You should try to avoid watering in the hottest part of the day, because too much water just evaporates, okay? And again, as I said, if you're away from home for a long period, consider, soaker hoses if need be, or if you have somebody who can come over and water your plants for you, so much the better, okay? Feeding is important. And again, if you get your soil tested, they will tell you what your plants need. You want to be careful not to overfeed. A lot of people like to feed their plants, whether they're vegetables or flowers or shrubs, once or twice during the summer, which could be okay. But again, it depends on what it is that your plant needs. One of the best ways to feed your soil, however, is compost. And if you can add, before you even begin planting, add about 1 inch of compost over your garden bed and just carefully work it into the top maybe 3 or 4 inches of your soil. Compost is one of the best things to feed your soil because it's so rich in organic matter. And if you have good compost, you might not need to feed your plants during the course of the season. So let me stop right there for just a minute and see if we have any questions that have come up.
As of this time, we do not have any questions. You've been very thorough.
Okay, let's keep on going then. Mulch. I love mulch. A lot of people think about mulching their shrubs, but they don't think about mulching their vegetable garden. And mulching your vegetable garden is one of the best things you can do for it, because of the fact that it helps retain moisture. So you won't be out there watering every time you turn around. And these are just some good examples of things that you can use as mulch. Try not to get hay. Make sure you get straw. You can get straw nowadays that is more chopped up, so it's even easier to spread in among your small vegetable plants, which is great. If you're going to put grass clippings, just make sure they're not really, really wet, because if they end up too wet, they become like too compact and they can start to smell. Newspaper is okay. You have to think of a way to secure it down on the ground. Be careful with plastic, because the one thing that plastic does is warm up the soil, and you do not want to fry the roots of your plants. Some people use landscape fabric because it allows the water through, and you can try that also. But what else? Also, some people also like to take cardboard. So they'll cut up their cardboard boxes, and I'm sure that everybody has way too many boxes from Amazon these days. Cut them up, lay them in between their plants somehow, especially in a vegetable garden, in between your rows, secure them down, and whether you cover them with something else or not, they make a really good mulch. Water still will seep through, but they'll last you for the season. Okay. And again, the big thing about mulch is that, you know, you're not going to end up with a ton of weeds, which is nice. One of the other nice things about mulch is this. It's especially important around, say, your tomato plants that you mulch. Tomato plants often get diseases because the disease comes into the soil somehow. And then when the plant is watered, there's splash up, and water from the ground splashes up onto the plant itself. And then the plant ends up getting diseased. If you end up mulching right around your tomato plants, for example, and you get that splash up, you're not going to get the soil that's splashing back up because you've got the mulch there to protect, and it kind of protects your plant from disease also. Okay. Seedlings need to be weeded frequently because they're still small. They require a lot of nutrients from the soil, and the weeds are just competing. And if you compost, don't throw your weeds in your compost pile, okay? Because all you're going to end up with is compost, which later on will be weedy, okay? So be careful about that. But mulch is great. It saves so much time. Insects and critters and diseases, oh my. There are lots of enemies out there, but there are a lot of good ones. We tend to think that most insects are bad, but they're not. Most insects are good, but it's a question of knowing what they are. Large and small animals, I don't consider my friends in the garden because they want to eat things, especially voles and moles. And diseases, you know, we don't want diseases in the garden either. The Missouri Botanical Garden is a fabulous source for all of these things. If you were to look up any particular plant, the Missouri Botanical Garden would give you an overview of that plant, and it will also tell you if that plant is susceptible to any particular diseases, or you know, if it's resistant to anything in particular, which is really helpful to know. You know, around here, it seems that deer are a real problem. They get into gardens and eat. So we want to make sure we try and keep the deer out. Sometimes other little critters will try to get into the garden. And so it's a question of how to protect your plants. And there are lots of different ways that you can do that. Some of which are just too extensive to go into with the amount of time we have. But one thing to keep in mind is this. Some plants, like all the brassicas, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, they're real susceptible to insects. And so if you use something like there's a cloth, it's an insect net. It's very fine mesh. And if you cover those and secure it down toward the bottom, it will keep those insects off of your plant, but your plant will still get plenty of sun and plenty of water, and hence it'll still produce. You can buy row cover, which is again a type of netting, and use that over some of your plants. Now, there are netting. There are different kinds of netting that have different size holes in it, so to speak. So if you're worried about voles or something like that, or worms, you don't want anything with a hole that's too big. Some of the garden sites, like I think Gardener's Supply, now makes these pop-up cages that you can actually put over your crops also. So there are a lot of options for that. They can be expensive, but if you buy something like netting or row cover, you can use those again and again and again, which is kind of nice. Trap crops are just what they sound like. They are those crops that will attract and trap, so to speak, unwanteds. So insects and things like that. Okay. Cultural controls are other things that you can do, like planting different plants that will attract good insects. And there are other things that you can do yourself to keep your plants safe, like your watering techniques, and so on. It's putting a fence around your garden is a cultural kind of control. Biological controls are generally sprays and things like that that you might or might not want to use on your plants. I don't like to use any chemicals on my plants, if at all possible, and I rarely do. There are some things that you can find on the internet, do it yourself, repellents. For example, if deer are a problem, because deer love hosta, and they'll eat it down to they like it when it's really small, just popping up for the season, and they'll eat it right down if you allow them to. But if you were to Google in, homemade deer repellent, you can come up with recipes for things that work, that only require things you have in your kitchen, like eggs and Tabasco sauce and dish liquid, then, oil, that kind of thing. And they work. So think about, how you want to repel different things. You can come up with do-it-yourself insect repellents that do work. So think about that before you run out and buy something that's a chemical. The same goes true, and I meant to tell you this before, when it comes to mulching. I don't know if any of you are familiar with preen. Preen is a germination preventer. And a lot of people like to use preen in their gardens to prevent germination of weeds. That works really well, especially if you're going to also mulch. Preen now has an organic version, which is nothing more than corn gluten. And you can also buy corn gluten separately from the Preen brand. And corn gluten prevents germination. So, for example, if you have established plants and you want to help control weeds, you could spread corn gluten in your garden. And that will help prevent the germination of weeds, which in turn will help cut down your workload. Okay, so there are lots of things that you can do, and I would urge you to research them carefully before you start looking at chemical controls, because chemical controls can be pretty severe. I'm sure many of you have heard about the problems with Roundup, and hopefully you'll keep that in mind as you look. There are some terrific resources out there, and these are just a few, but I want to tell you a little bit about each one. The Yukon Home and Garden Education Center is out of the Yukon Agricultural College. Oh, and I have a typo there in the next one. All right, that's okay. I'll fix it later. They have all kinds of information about vegetables and flowers and shrubbery, soil testing, you name it. It's a terrific resource. And the people at Yukon are extremely helpful in answering questions. The Connecticut Agricultural, that should say Experiment Station, sorry about that, the typo. We mentioned that earlier as one place where you can get your soil tested. And their website is loaded with information, again, about good horticultural practices. JoeGardner.com is one of my favorite. Has anybody ever heard of Joe Lample, also known as Joe Gardner?
Nothing's coming up in the chat.
Okay. He had, I don't know if he still has, a TV show for a number of years about gardening. He is an avid gardener. He lives on his own farm. He has a podcast. He's got this great website. His website is so loaded with information about everything you can think of, starting your seeds, making compost, getting compost, lots of great resources. And he's got a Facebook page also where people constantly post things, questions, and they get suggestions from Joe and from others as to, how to handle one situation or another. It's very, very user friendly and contains a lot of information that other sites do not contain. It's really a site that everyday gardeners will find helpful. The Connecticut Invasive Plant Working Group is just what it says it is. This is a group that keeps track of and researches and tries to educate people about invasive plants. Because the last thing that you really want to do is plant an invasive plant on your property, because you will have a heck of a time getting rid of it. And this especially pertains to things like ground covers and shrubbery more than anything else. Although I swear that Pachysandra is invasive, although it's not on the list. But on my property, it's pretty much invasive. But for example, people think that burning bush is such a pretty plant because in the winter, or fall rather, and then toward the winter, it turns that gorgeous red color. Burning bush is one highly invasive plant that we really shouldn't be planting. But they talk about the invasive plants so that you can stay away from them. And then sort of going along with that is the Connecticut Botanical Society, which is a great resource for plants that are native to Connecticut and New England. So if you want to stick with natives and pollinators, to draw those bees back to your yard, this is a really great resource to go to also. There are tons of other resources out there. These are just some of my favorites. And I've already mentioned the Missouri Botanical Garden, which I think is one of the best databases that's out there. So there's so much to take into consideration when you plan a garden. But I hope that some of these tips are going to give you some food for thought and some things to think about. The other one that I did not put here, and I should have because I'm part of it, is the Connecticut Master Gardener Program. The Connecticut Master Gardener Program comes out of Yukon. There are several extension offices around the state. In Simsbury, our extension office is in Farmington. And the Master Gardener Program is there to serve the public and to help you with your gardening issues. So for example, if you have something that starts eating one of your plants and you don't know what it is, you can talk to the people at the Master Gardener Program and they will help you. They will research it if need be, send you to Yukon if need be, help you solve your problem, okay? So another good resource for you. Whatever it is that you're gonna do this year, I hope you have fun with it. Gardening should be enjoyable. It should be relaxing. It should be fun. I know a lot of people have started gardening, especially since the pandemic, because of their inability to get out and go places and do things. And people are becoming much more interested in good, healthy food. So hence their vegetable gardening. But whatever your reason for gardening is, I just hope you have a terrific gardening season this year. Lindsay, the one thing that I forgot to do was say that I would be willing to have people email me if they wanted to, if they had questions or anything like that, that I can help them with. So can I give to you, can you give people my email address?
Absolutely.
Okay, that'd be great.
I can certainly put it in the chat as well as send it up to a follow-up. But in the meantime, we did get a few questions.
Okay, shoot.
Okay, start from the beginning. If pine needles fall into your soil in the vegetable garden, do you leave them or do they need to be raked out?
Leave them. I'm assuming that they're dried and they're brown, because generally pine needles don't fall if they're green. If they're green, I rake mine out and I put them in the compost. If they're brown, I leave them because they make great mulch. My vegetable garden right now is loaded with them and I love it. They make great mulch. You could work them into your soil if you wanted to, especially if they're brown.
Okay, great. Next question is, what is the best time to start vegetable plants like tomatoes, lettuce, basil, etc. in a container garden?
If you're putting plants out there, generally we say, after the last frost. However, they're much more hardy than you think. And it depends. If you have a container garden, and let's say like right now, we've had some cold nights with temperatures down into the 30s. My tomatoes are out in my cold frame, which is just a simple wooden box with a lid on the top, of like a translucent plastic lid on the top. It sits on my deck right now. And they've done fine in temperatures down almost below freezing, actually. If you're going to have them though, like in a pot, and you could put them out in early May, but if we get a cold night, then you would want to move them somewhere. As long as we don't have a hard freeze, they're going to be okay. But if it looks like we're going to have a really hard freeze, or let's say you put something out and we had an unexpected 3 inches of snow, I would take them in and put them somewhere where they're going to be slightly warmer, like a garage would be okay. Or if there's any way you can cover them, that would help. But otherwise, generally, people say, well, not until we know that we're not going to have another frost, which means mid-May. You can go a little bit earlier than that, for sure. And cool weather plants, they can be out there already. My lettuce got snow on it this morning. It's fine.
Hardy vegetable. Okay, our next question is, if the area surrounding vegetable garden beds is overrun with weeds, is weeding by hand the only way to clear it out? Does it make any sense to plant grass in that area?
Well, okay, when you say surrounding a vegetable garden, if it's just on the perimeter of the vegetable garden, I wouldn't bother. I would just, keep the weeds mowed down as much as possible, without letting them get into your garden itself. If the weeds are in between your rows, then I would say get rid of them. And there are 2 ways to get rid of them. You can pull them out by hand, or you can smother them. I would not recommend using a weed killer, because so many weed killers, then leach down into your soil. But what you could do is you could cover them with black plastic, not clear, because if you cover them with clear plastic, the sun still gets in and it only encourages them to grow. You could cover them with black plastic and it will smother them because they'll fry and die. Or you could cover them with just something like cardboard will work to a certain extent, but black plastic will work better. Or you can just pull them out. Part of it's a question of what's your tolerance for weeds. You just don't want the weeds to be in your rows, especially because your plant roots are only going to go so far down and spread out. If the weeds are in between the rows and there's, and you've got, let's say you have a row that is, 10 inches wide. And your plants are in the center of it and the weeds are on either side. Depends on what the vegetable is. If it's tomatoes, because they have deeper roots and more roots, I'd pull them out. But if it's lettuce or something, something smaller, beans even, I wouldn't bother. I would, I don't like weeds. I pull weeds out everywhere I can because I just don't like them. So it really depends on how close they are to plants.
What was that last part? You're covering your microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. It all depends on how close the weeds are to your plants. But you don't want them within 8 inches of your plants, I would say.
Okay, great. So that was the end of the questions. We did get one last comment before about one of the attendees likes to put soap slivers around beans and lettuce.
I'm sorry, put what around?
Soap slivers.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep, I've heard of people doing that. Absolutely. You know, there are lots of things. One of the things that I have found is really helpful to keep some critters out is, you know, those fake looking owls. I have one in 2 different flower gardens where voles have tended to go, and they don't seem to like them very much. Some people use those little pinwheel things that spin around, you know, to keep other critters out. Yeah, there are lots of things you can try. But soap, if soap works, use it for sure. Absolutely. Good.
Super. So I did the last slide you have up. I did add those links into the chat in case people wanted to check them out right now. I did just add in your email address if anyone wanted to reach out with you if they had any further questions. And before we end today's presentation, is there anything else you'd like to add or share in relations to getting your garden started?
Not at this point. There's so much more to talk about, but we only have a limited amount of time. So, you know, if anybody has an idea for another particular session that they would like, if it's something I can do, I'd be happy to talk to you about that.
Super, thank you so much. So Linette, thank you so much for your presentation today and your time with
Thank
us. We
you.
really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for attending. We hope you enjoyed it. And again, the slides were sent out before today's program, but if you did not receive them, please just reply back to the Zoom email link and we can get those into your hands.